Welcome again to New York Talk. This is the Scouting Report, and this time it is a trip to Portman Road. It's Ipswich Town on Tuesday night, the promotion chasers. We have Rossco joining us again. How are you doing, mate?
I'm very well. I'm just about dried off because Tammer and Swansea, and it was wet, very wet indeed. Well, it's been wet in the UK all weekend, hasn't it? Oh, yeah. So, a good win there, and looking forward to chatting again, my friend.
Absolutely. Let's go back first to the original meeting. We're talking about wetness. I mean, that's sort of been the second one. Let's talk about the 2-2 draw. A funny old game, that one. A really, really funny old game. How did you see it in the end? A late goal from us to snatch a point.
Yeah, I was pleased. It was on. Obviously that I made that. Halfway got to the first game. Obviously, it got cancelled because of the weather, the storm, whatever it was called back then. And but yeah, this game was an interesting one because you guys scored an early goal, didn't you? Sam Nombe scored the goal, and then we all equalised. And then we then scored a late goal, and we thought, okay, job done. We always know it's a tough place to go, Rotherham, and I think we'll take 2-1. And then your French lad scored that late goal, and I think we were just like thinking, oh dear. This is what the championship is all about sometimes, results like that. But we fought fair play Rotherham. I think you probably deserved the point overall. I think we pretty much could have nicked the win there, but, we didn't. But yeah, we'll probably look back at that and gone, is that 2 points dropped, later down the road? But obviously that was in November time. Since then, we have dropped points. But that was the first little bump in the road in our season so far.
Yeah, well, you were second at the time, sit fourth now, but only 3 points off promotion with the game in hand. It feels like though you dropped a few points, but Leeds and Southampton have really stepped it up, and it's now it's a proper battle for that second spot at the minute. It's potentially going to go down to the wire. This,
yeah, it's exciting, and obviously Championship is bonkers league, and Leeds have been like a train. Southampton were a train. They've breaking records, unbeaten records. Obviously, they got beaten. Their record got beaten recently, and but they're Premier League football clubs. They've got Premier League players. They've got Premier League money, and I think we're just enjoying the ride because we, from getting promoted last year to go on the run we've gone on. I think everyone's just enjoying it. The players are, stepping up and doing really well. But yeah, we're going to hopefully keep up with those two Premier League, relegated sides, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we had a few disappointing results here and there over the Christmas period, but we're still amongst it, and we'll hopefully stay there for the rest of the season. Yeah,
it looks like you had a decent January as well. Obviously, Keith Moore's sort of the headline signing, the young lad from Wimbledon as well. But it looks like I always thought, looking at your team, looking at your sort of strike option, I thought that needed to be improved to kind of sustain the battle. And there's not many better strikers out there in the Championship than Keith Moore. So it feels like as January, do you feel like you had a good January for the run in?
Yeah, there was a bit of a worry and a bit of panic from Town fans because they sort of signed. Obviously, Keith Moore was before deadline day, and there was Ali Hal Hamadi was another late one in the January transfer window. But there was a few panics because, of course, George Hurst, formerly of this parish of Rotherham, he's out for a little while, and that was like, okay, we've got no striker, like proper striker, because Caden Jackson can play out front, but he's not really an out-and-out striker. So that was a position we wanted to strengthen in. Thankfully, we did that with two, with Kiefer Moore, as you mentioned, experienced striker, scored at this level, scored in the Premier League, scored at World Cups and Euros for Wales, and then Ali Hamadi is a prospect, been scoring goals for League Two, has made a step up, and he's played pretty well, actually. He scored his first goal against Millwall last week, and he just looks like a handful and just someone who's just wanting to step up. So overall, I think it was a good January transfer window. Obviously, Big Fred, he's gone to Charlton. Don't think we'll ever see him again in a Town shirt. I remember speaking to you when he first signed, and that was that connection between Rotherham and Ipswich Town, but yeah, it just hasn't really worked out in the end for Fred. Obviously, it has worked out because he did score us goals in League One, but in the Championship, he just hasn't been able to do what he was able to do in League One, and he's moved on to Charlton, and we wish him all the best. But yeah, overall, January was pretty good.
I assume this playing style is very similar. What struck me when we played you at our place was that it was get the ball forward. It wasn't lump it forward, but it was get the balls, certainly using the channels as much as possible and the ball was constantly back in play. One of the sort of things that I really noticed. I assume that's still kind of the same route that McKenna's going down.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Leif Davis, he's a Premier League quality player. He's got all the assists. I think it's now got 12 assists this season, which is mad. I think the record is 16 for a Championship player, so he potentially could get that. But obviously he's our big outlet on the left. That connection. Obviously now Kiefer Moore coming in, we can change our play style a little bit more because obviously he's a big lad, so you can lump up to him if needed. If we're struggling against a certain team, he can. But the thing with him, he can be like a magnet for defenders. So he could just bring that through defenders across, and then Connor Chaplin, who's scored his 10th goal against Swansea on the weekend, he could just sort of just get into that space and score goals. So yeah, we've got players who have just been able to step up to the Championship. And it's just quick, it's of course playing around the back, all that sort of stuff, but there's other routes to goal as well. And yeah, I think at home, obviously at Portman Road, it's just goals galore. So expect that, hopefully.
Okay, great. Won't be for us, will it? So we're likely to go and sit in and make it difficult, dirty the game up a little bit. How is that going to? How are you fared against teams that have tried to just sort of slow everything down and just make it difficult to play against?
It's been a mix. Obviously, back in the day, we used to really struggle, especially when we played you guys. Definitely in League One, I think we used to hate playing Rotherham because we just knew we were going to lose. We just knew you're going to beat us. But now, obviously, we've got Kieran McKenna, and he's completely changed the way we've played, and we've got players now who can sort of adapt to that. But there's been a few times where we have struggled. I can't really think the top of my head right now against which certain teams there is, but there's definitely been moments where I thought, we're going to be in for a game here, and we've been able to maybe just nick one. Obviously, we haven't lost many games. We're actually the lowest in terms of defeats this season in the Championship. So there's not been many times where we've suffered defeats, but there has been a few times where you're thinking, we got away with it there because of the start of play. But we've very much adapted to that now. But as I said, if you were speaking to me 4 years ago, I'll be thinking, we'll struggle and you'll win. So 3 points, here you go. But now we're a different team, obviously, and obviously we played each other. I think this is the first time you're going to be at Portman Road since the 4-1 in the FA Cup. Sorry to remind you about that. But obviously that was a moment where we're like thinking, okay, we can actually play against a Championship side and do well. And obviously against Rotherham, where we've got a terrible record. So, but yeah.
Fair enough. Let's finish on a prediction there, Rossco. What do you reckon? I see your goals at Portman Road often. What do you reckon? 1-0 us?
Yeah, as I said 4 years ago, I'll probably say, Rotherham 1-0. Easy 3 points for you away from home. And I know you haven't won away from home this year, so I'd bring that stat up. Sorry, Rotherham fans. But I've always had a soft spot for you guys, probably because of the Chuckle Brothers, maybe, childhood and all that jazz. But even though we used to be rubbish when we play against you, I've always had a soft spot because of chatting with you and just going the Rotherham and stuff like that. Always been hospitality there has been fantastic when I've gone. So, this could be a game where we could maybe really step up and go, let's get some goals and get our goal difference up a little bit more. But do I be kind? Mate, I'm gonna go 3-1. I think let you score a goal. And maybe it'll just be. It won't be like 3-0 in the first half. They'll be spread out. 3-1, and hopefully Rotherham fans have a good trip to Portman Road, despite maybe defeat on the cards. But you never know. Anything can happen.
Well, it's the Championship, isn't it? It's a stupid league. It makes no sense. You never know. Absolutely right. Thank you, Rossco. We'll put the links to the Kings of Anglia in the show notes. So anyone wants to check out, I'll be on there for the preview or the full preview. Check the going out. Thank you very much. We will thank everybody who has watched. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever else you may find us. We will see you all next time. And as always, up the Millers.